my baby out that car.
Yeah.
Get my baby out of there. Why you let that little white boy sit on the curb like that?
Yeah.
This our journey. The vision is ours. Everything pure. Everything.
But again, my mama rock. She come down there, cutting up.
Yeah.
Get my baby out that car.
Yeah.
Get my baby out of there. Why you let that little white boy sit on the curb like that?
Yeah.
And she turned up to the point where she got everybody else behind her.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we ain't got no option. Because when all the truth came out, and then all the people who seen it was in the gym was like, no, that individual who got hog-tied thrown in the back of the car was defending, a little 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Because that individual you got over there and you taking care of and you're wiping his nose and you got him sitting on the side of the road and everything saying, you all right?
Yeah.
Was the one that provoked it. So
and then play, hands off, hands behind the back. I don't know what happened, right?
Oh, yeah. When he came out, when I hit him. Yeah. I'm talking about full pass. He fell. Man, that boy looked like that looked like a 3D character running. I'm talking about head. He ain't had no neck. His head was just left to right, like this running out the jump. But yeah, so that happened. And by the time I got into everybody that I hung out between 6th to 8th grade, like really hung with, a lot of them got caught up in a whole bunch of stuff. And again, it was a matter of one phone call, being in the wrong car at the wrong time, that led me to be able to even get to high school. Because all those people, and I promise you, man, through this journey, I'm really going to go back and I'm going to reach all these individuals so they can validate a lot of these stories and tell you their story. But they'll let you know, it's like, at that point, man, you got to look, man, the South was on, and the money was being made. You had the Jeezys. You had the Guwaps, the Gucci Mans, you had the Boosies, you had the Plies. Like the South was it. And everybody wanted to be those individuals, even if they didn't know. By the time I seen everybody I hung out with get locked up in 8th grade, I said, man, again, I grew up in Milton/Pensacola, so you've got heavily influenced military background in that region. And I was like, I'm gonna go to the military. It's gonna get me away from this. That's going into 9th grade. 9th grade or 8th grade going to 9th grade. I said I'm gonna do JRTC. Yeah, boss. Yeah, boss.
Game changer?
It probably wasn't a good decision.
I used to make fun of those dudes. It's funny. I ended up joining, you know what I'm saying?
Like, man, I did a half a semester.
Oh, yeah.
I did a half a semester, man. Because, like, coming out of all that, going into 9th grade, I was like, bro, get your focal point. Sit back, re-identify where you need to be going.
Yeah.
And I said in there, the first time I had to wear that uniform, and everybody that I messed with was like, yo.
I can tell by Kev's head that he got big dreams.
Bruh. And you already know it. Shut your big old, bruh. I couldn't even go to lunch, man. There were points I wouldn't even go to lunch. And I was just like, I'm going to have to fight him.
That's how it is,
I'm going to have to fight you.
Kids mean.
But things like that honestly take courage. Honestly, like when you look back at that, those are defining moments. You just spoke on at least 2 defining moments that took courage in those times. And I think that that's part of knowing yourself, right? Your limit, especially in courage. Because a lot of times you either one or 2 ways. You'll sign up for more than you can handle, write that check that your ass can't cash, or you undercommit and you stand there and endure things that later you look back at like I should have did something. I think that speaks volumes of your courage.
Definitely. And what you saying that I think I wholeheartedly agree with you. What I found out is I didn't know that back then.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of influence. You know, the infrastructure was not built up to really like my morals and principles were sound. Like I had a stepfather that taught me work ethic. That man worked 2 jobs, and one job he working 40 plus hours a week, and he picking up another 20 whatever hours, and he going from one job to the next job.
Yeah.
And just seeing that, I was like, oh, this is feasible. I picked up doing masonry, bricks, blocks, concrete, stone at 13. Like at 13, I was making my own money. I didn't ask my mother for nothing from there on out. Because I seen the struggle. But given that, I didn't understand what I was doing at that time. I didn't understand that work ethic that I was building at 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on was going to be able to allow me to get to, you know, that infrastructure, that solid building blocks.
Yeah.
So a lot of people be like, when they talk about their past, or they talk about, yo, I got it out the mud, I got it from the gutter, they say it in a ill will facet.
Yeah.
Like, and the way I look at it is the same thing that's made me successful at this like venture was that. Because a lot of people ain't seen that adversity.
That adversity, yeah.
Yeah, so they're figuring out for the first time where I've already got a blueprint that I learned when I was 12. And I got another decade plus to look at that blueprint and make it better. So
yeah, so why'd you pick the Army instead of like college or whatever? My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just saying that's deep, that in itself.
Yeah.
For
sure. Yeah. So what made you join? You could have went to college, you know what I'm saying, with the bros.
Yeah, nah. So nah.
We're side to side. You know what? I'm gonna wake up every morning and get screamed at by a dude I don't know.
So 9th grade, like I played ball with everybody, but I'm the outsider. So the small town I grew up in, if you're not a part of things from early, you're on the outside. So 9th grade, I tried out for basketball. I didn't make the team. Because again, I jumped out of JRTC. I was like, I'm not doing that, bro. That's trash. Can't do it. It's a waste of time. Like these dudes is weirdos. And not all of them were weirdos, man. Don't make me disrespecting people like that.
Shout out to JRTC.
I was gonna say salute to JRTC, you know.
Don't come over here and shoot me with your pellet rifles. I don't need
the Raiders.
Nah, but like it was a totally different environment within 6 months again. So I tried out for the basketball team and I ain't make it. And I felt a certain way because I knew I was better than a lot of people they picked up. Yeah. So that summer, like at this point, I'm working. But if I'm not working, I'm dribbling a basketball. Like everywhere I'm going, I'm dribbling a basketball. I'm dribbling a tennis ball. Like it was just to the point where my neighbors would tell my mom, like, yo, tell your son to stop dribbling the basketball 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I'm out there under the street, like, just dribbling the basketball. And I think that was the first thing. First thing, it was just like, they told me I wasn't good enough. And my thing, if I wasn't good enough, I'll accept it. But I seen people who I knew I was better than get that pat on the back, and I didn't. Yeah. And it was off of relations versus, like, I'm going to just, like, I'm gonna buy into this guy. So 10th grade, I come back with a vengeance. Man, that ball was like, you remember the yo-yos?
Yeah.
Where you can sleep them and then you can twist them and do everything else. That's how the basketball was with me, but I'm talking about I'm down the court and I don't even got to look at nothing.
Right.
Like Muggsy Bogues.
To drop. Right. Jaminski clears it to Bogues. Muggsy Bogues over Paxson.
Right.
So I made the team. Mind you, at this point in time in 10th grade, some of the best players that ever come out of our county were on the same team at varsity.
Yeah.
So I got an opportunity to be around that. And there was a lot of influential individuals from, like, y'all don't know these names, but dude named Adam Allen, he went over and played at University of Florida. He got a contract or scholarship at University of Florida. Terrence Mitchell was a beast. He had like a perm. Motherfucker be looking like Sonic and shit on the court. But when I tell you that man had to clean his ball fakes and he was just smooth. Jeremy Talbot, by far till this day, he was Chris Paul before I ever seen Chris Paul.
Yeah.
I've seen this dude, he's a magician with the ball, man. And he just knows how to take over things. Robert Carson, defensive beast. Like all these, Chris Duckworth, all these individuals, I get an opportunity to be in the gym with them now, right? So I go in there with a different passion. And a lot of them show me a lot of respect. And I wasn't good. Like, I'll be honest with you. In 10th grade, I wasn't good. But the passion I had for the game is what they respected.
Yeah.
And they allowed me to grow between 10th and 11th grade, and they developed me. And that honed in from me being nothing, coming in the 9th grade, trying to find some roots in JRTC, to like, oh, man, oh, now you cool. Because you're hanging out with all the cool people. And you're associating with all the cool people. And it goes with association. But none of that would have been possible if these individuals didn't give me an opportunity.
Yeah.
And they ain't see like that drive factor. It was like, yo, this dude gonna get it. So yeah, 11th grade, played ball again. I wasn't really understanding of the politics of the environment. And the reason I say that is later on when I joined the military, it was validated. But during that time period, it was just like, oh yeah, we just need you to do this. We just need you to work hard.
Yeah.
We just need you to work hard. It was no development. It was sitting down. There was no mentorship. A lot of times by those individuals that I graduated, that's coming off of like 11th grade and stuff. And then 12th grade, I had to make a decision. I was like, yo, you ain't for this college stuff because you really are not paying attention in school. Like, I made decent grades.
Yeah.
You feel me? It was no problem in school. And I combat that with saying earlier on in elementary school, I was deemed having a learning disability. So that was one major thing that I didn't mention, was like I had a learning disability or whatever, like dyslexics and all. So that, you know, like everything they try to say when you're not at the level they want you to grow at, when they want you to grow at it. You feel me?
I got a good understanding of what you're saying. Not to cut you off, but yeah, I've been there too with that.
Yeah,
we're not alone. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Dyslexia specifically.
Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard because now I'm sitting over here, and you know how our community is, man. Any chink in your armor, they come in and attack it.
Yeah, they do.
Always want to find Superman's kryptonite. Everybody's looking for Superman's kryptonite.
Yeah. So that happened through majority of middle school going into, my apologies, through elementary school.
Yeah.
So now I got to go to the learning disability classes and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what truly, honestly fueled like a lot of that anger when like, nah, you ain't gonna say these things about me because guess what? These two things here, these ain't learning disability, that's for sure. You feel me?
Yeah.
And they don't discriminate. They're not disabled. When I let these things go, they AP classes. You feel me?
For learning.
On a roll.
On a roll.
A and B on a roll.
For real, bro. So yeah. And then going into middle school, like I had one teacher, surprisingly enough, her name was Mrs. Jones. She seen that like I wasn't slow. I didn't have a learning disability.
Yeah.
It's just I wasn't intrigued. I wasn't intrigued by the format that they were trying to provide me information and knowledge.
Yeah.
It was just boring to me at that point.
Yeah.
So she set me down. I went to go leave for class one day, and she was like, "Do you want to get out of this environment?" What you mean? I want to get out of this environment. I can't leave school.
Yeah.
Like I'm in middle school. I can't leave school.
Yeah.
She was like, "No, like these classes." I was like, "Yeah, man, I would love to. It's no offense to you, man, but like it's a waste of time for me."
It's not for you.
And she helped me on the path. She was like, "You gotta do this, do this, do this," and in order to do it, you've got to test out. So everything they told you couldn't do, you got to test out of it in order for them to move you into a position. And that's what I did. But like again, by the time I went in the 9th grade, I'm in AP science class and math class and stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because I tested out in 8th grade, and you know I'm in 95, 97 percentile and stuff. And she was one of the joyful individuals. Like when I achieved that, she was like, "You shouldn't have been here in the first place. But you got to understand, no matter where you land, you can't take that as what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, man, you saying a whole bunch of stuff that ain't saying nothing to me. You like, man, you can fall off a ledge. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to be at the bottom of the ledge.
Yeah.
It's just there was a lot of things that you didn't have control of. Boom. So, man, I fast forward all the way to 12th grade. I had a decision to make. Like, I'm balling, but a lot of individuals' parents are in the booster club. You know, they funneling all this information, and I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah.
And I stand on my own too, 10 toes down. And so I ain't play as much as I should have, in my personal opinion, my 12th grade year. But when I played, everyone I played against seen it. And I think that was that validation. Whether it was good or bad, like when I got on the court, like I hooped.
Yeah.
And the coaches, when you know, good game. Hey, man, you wasting a lot of time over there, ain't you? Hey, coach.
Yeah.
It is what it is, type.
It is what it is, yeah.
So I had a decision midway through 12th grade year, and I was like, I'm not going to college because I already know, because a lot of those individuals that I spoke of, that I looked up to, none of them really panned out at that collegiate level.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's one of those things coming from a small town you don't understand. In a small town, if you're good, you're good. A lot of things get handed to you.
Yeah.
And then once you get up to that next level, it's like, all right, a lot of competition, you know, numbers and ratios go down. So, and so forth, so on. From collegiate to NBA, NBA on. You feel me? So I was like, I ain't gonna do that. I'm not staying around here. Like, I've already got a decade plus of doing everything you could do around here. From working hard to messing with drugs to playing with sports. Like, I've already seen all that. None of that willed anything for these individuals, so there's no reason to stay around here.
Yeah.
And my whole concept, I went and talked into the Air Force recruit. I was like, I want to be a loadmaster. Yo, dead ass. Yeah, I wanted to be a loadmaster. And but he was never there. You feel me? And then the one time I got an opportunity to speak to him, he said, well, right now, in order to join the Air Force, you got to get such and such on, you know, the acceptance test.
Yeah.
Already discredited me. Ain't seen me a day in his life. I done spent 5-6 times coming to your office. I done called you a dozen times. And the first time you see me, this is what you say. You replicating everything that I've already been through. So I don't even want to be a part of your association.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I honestly didn't join the Air Force.
Yeah.
But what happened was, the Army recruit was sitting right by the door, hands in pockets and everything. I already knew this was his MO. I already knew this was his MO. You ever thought about that? Come talk to us. I was like, nah, man. I don't know nobody who's joined the Army, and they ain't trying to do it.
Yeah.
Man, before I knew it, he said, man, let's just go take the test and see what we got to offer you. Because a lot of these other branches can't give you a job. So go take the test, and I can tell you what job I can give you. He did that. Pretty much qualified for whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so he brought me in. He was like, well, what you want to do? Again, the area I was at, I grew up with a friend who his father was El Salvadorian. I grew up with another friend who was Dominican. So, like, these households are heavily influenced by the Spanish culture. So I was like, man, I want to learn how to speak Spanish. That was the concept. I was like, I want to go be a linguist.
Yeah.
They was like, okay, we can do that, but you got to take this test, and then we ain't going to be able to get you in the AIT for 6 months. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to sit around my local area for another 6 months.
Yeah.
So he threw up. He was like, hey, man, you want to go be a UAV operator? Mind you, I never played video games. Yo, last video game I played to this point really was N64.
What's a UAV operator for the viewers that don't even know that acronym?
That's a great question, Prince. Unmanned, at that point it was unmanned aerial vehicle operator. It's the drones. Everything you're hearing about now, I got an opportunity to get influenced by it very early, i.e. 2008. And yeah, he said that. And I was like, I guess it sounds cool. I don't play video games. Like I said, bro, I'm over here. Smash Bros was the last thing I really played consistently. It's not a part of me, but it sounded cool. shoot off to Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
You already know that's y'all stomping ground, right? That's y'all stomping ground, eh?
I've been to Fort Sill once or twice.
Heartbeat out there.
Yeah. So I shoot out there, do basic training, and honestly, I loved basic training. That was the first time I've ever been on an actual airplane.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm terrified. And I get down, and then, like you said, you get there to somebody yelling in your face. But I loved it because it was the individuals that were around me, and a lot of them were field artillery backgrounds or MOSs they were going to go into.
Yeah.
And those were the guys that I really vibed with.
Yeah.
They for some form or facet, it didn't matter what we was going through. As long as we was around each other, we found reasons to smile.
Yeah.
No matter if we getting smoked or getting disciplined, we still found reason to smile.
You gotta explain getting smoked. For
Oh,
those who
man,
may
no.
not
Yeah, you
understand.
know what?
Hey, why you explain that? Let me stoke this fire.
I need y'all to explain.
Hey,
You want to talk about
over there?
Was it?
You ain't feeling it over there?
I ain't feeling nothing. I told you.
Put a little two-stick
No, you know what? You go ahead right here though. I'll go get some more firewood because y'all on the artillery room can explain smoke way better than I can explain smoke.
Go ahead, Melo.
Hey, so here we go. Getting smoked. Just so everybody out there has a good understanding, is basically being disciplined from the perspective of sweat equity. Sweat equity is you're gonna get this work, basically. You're gonna learn today. Yeah, you're gonna learn today. You're gonna get this work, and you know, if you continue to fail to meet the standard or complete the task that you're being told by this person who's holding their hand just like this at your face, you will continue to do push-ups, squats, toe touchers, knee touchers, shoulder touchers, head touchers, ear touchers, any other type of toucher exercise you can think of.
Pause.
Yeah, pause. And bring it right back. So
There it is.
basically, any activity you can imagine that causes fatigue and pain in a certain muscle group repetitively is what getting smoked is. Just so everybody's clear.
Absolutely, it's one of those. It's a hard correction that has that twofold meaning behind it, to where like, you know, to never do what you just did again.
Yeah.
Also, you're still building up your body, your physicality at the same time. So, yeah, I'm with it. You know, this day and age, Army's a little different, but that's a conversation for another day.
Sweat equity.
But sweat equity.
You definitely earned it, eh?
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's crazy though is I loved it. I would much rather be smoked, because from the people I came up with, my leadership in the military at that time and period, I was like, smoke me.
Yeah.
You know what? Because that's easy. I can do that. I can do that. You can smoke me. When you put it on paper. When you put it on paper, when you take the time and effort to put it on paper, then it can affect my career. Smoking really isn't going to affect my career too much. That's what you're just making me better.
Right.
I'm going to look good for the summer.
Right. That's it.
Yep.
Mindset.
Yeah, but yeah, so join the military. But one of the major things that happened was when I joined it, I'm around, honestly, brothers like y'all in basic training, like St. Louis, Mississippi, California, New York.
Yeah.
And we just vibing. It's all fun. And then we out there calling cadence. We doing everything. And it's great. I said, all right, graduation. My fam, my moms, my step-pops, all that come out there. Like, oh man, this is good. So I'm feeling good about myself. I accomplished something.
Yeah.
I got on a plane to go to Fort Huachuca, Arizona. All right. And this man Prince gonna edit in to let you know where Fort Huachuca, Arizona is. All right. it's in a location nobody really knows about.
Yeah.
And honestly, when I came up to Fort Huachuca, Arizona, what I didn't know, even while I was the entire time there, this is like home of the Buffalo Soldier. I didn't know what a Buffalo Soldier was.
Triple
And I
nickel.
honestly think we need to touch base on that and really go in depth of what a Buffalo Soldier was, because I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the respect for that installation and for what it still holds to this day.
Yeah.
But I digress on that one. But I show up, I get to my barracks, and there's nothing but people like, it was almost, I caught a breath. I felt like I was going back to 9th grade. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Felt like I was going back to JRTC. I walk in, they're playing World of Warcraft, Pokemon,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, this isn't where I need to be at.
Culture shock.
It was a culture shock. Cause now I just went like I was terrified, I was anxious, I was nervous, I was excited to go into the military.
Yeah.
Once I got the basic training and I had people that I could relate to,
Yeah.
it was too easy then.
Yeah.
Then I'm on my second flight in my life. And then I go jump into another location where, again, they're playing World of Warcraft. I'm talking about this was one of the time where Leroy Jenkins was popping out. You feel me? And so I walk in there and I say, nope, go get my room.
Yeah.
And I was almost in solitude for majority of that time period. And I actually ended up meeting my wife while I was at AIT. And I think that was one of the
Okay.
things that gave me my solace.
Yeah.
Because when like I was gym,
Yeah.
AIT, like I was just on vibing.
Yeah.
And this is what's crazy. The one time I decided to do something, it was actually for Martin Luther King Day. I had one dude, he was from DC, he was in the Go-Go joint.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
you know, he's the one who put me, the first time I ever heard Wale. He was like, yo, we sitting at the gym, we just got done hooping. He said, yo, you should do something for MLK Day, son.
Yeah.
I was like, what you mean? He was like, yo, we should just go buy a whole bunch of meat and we get all the black people in all the barracks, because mind you, that's really where military intelligence is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got all those guys out there. So we're thinking it's a small portion of people that's gonna show up to this.
Yeah.
Right? And
You know.
it wasn't the case. It wasn't the case. That's how I knew, like, I found the power of
A barbecue in the military, you didn't think nobody was going to show up?
no, but then nah, you ain't
Come on now.
Yo.
A barbecue for the
Mel.
bros?
you ain't been to Fort Huachuca.
We coming,
Hey
everybody.
Prince, tell him about the AIT barracks in Fort Huachuca, man.
Bro. Understatement, you know. Yeah. Shout out to them Bears.
Yeah, they coming.
No, that's what's crazy.
Gross.
The underestimation came is
Yeah.
we decided this the weekend before.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like, let's just we gonna go buy everything to cook.
Mm.
Like, I'll bring all my little speakers and everything. We'll go up there and we'll sit out there and we'll have a good time at the little basketball court.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there like, yeah, cool. And we did it. And we're networking. Like, man, yeah, man, hey man, go on, come on. You ain't got nothing else to do. You can go catch that little bus in the Sierra Vista. Ain't nothing over there to do.
Yeah.
Might well come over and have some fun. We're gonna be jamming, we're gonna have food, it's gonna be free. Got shut down. That's how many people came out.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
man.
it was right next to the UAS barracks.
Yeah.
And so I had already made a name for myself
Right.
at that point. He was like the dude who does no talking.
Yeah.
The dude.
So hold on. So now we gotta fast forward a little bit. I don't want to run out of daylight.
Oh, you on it? You on it?
So let's get to where you are now, and then your personal passion project that you're working on and you want to display for the viewers.
Okay. Where I am now, I joined enlisted, came in as a E3 or private first class in the United States Army. Got stationed in Fort Polk, Louisiana, middle of nowhere. Deployed, went to Afghanistan, came back. Well, deployed for 12 months, went to Afghanistan, came back. Once I came back, at that point, that was the time I actually got married after I got back from the first deployment.
Mhm.
PCS to Fort Stewart, 3rd ID, deployed as soon as I got there for 9 months to Afghanistan again, came back.
Dog face soldiers.
Those dog face soldiers, yeah.
I got a bunch of homies. Sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
man, yeah, so
Yeah.
knocked that out, came back, met one of my second mentors. I didn't even know what mentors were. Met my second mentor, and I was about to get out. I was done with the military. Like at that point, I had been in the military less than 4 years, and I had already deployed twice.
Yeah.
Mind you, that's 20, half of that, 21 months or whatever. And so I was like, yo, I can't keep up this pace.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, all right, get out. What you getting out to? And I was like, shit, I don't know. And that's the thing, like, that's really, I was like, you know what? He was like, he influenced me by a level of saying, push me past what I understood, what I could accomplish. He's like, I never seen myself being a warrant officer or anything like that, point blank period.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, drop your packet. And ended up dropping my packet, got picked up, PCS, went out to Fort, did all the courses and everything, went out to Fort Hood, got over to another platform, deployed again, went out to Iraq, came back, switched over to one of the brigade combat teams, went over to Korea during the height of the conflict with North Korea, like what, 16, 17, something like that, came back, went over to Hunter Army Airfield at Savannah, went with them to Greece, Poland, pretty much covered the whole Europe region, came back, then jumped over to where I currently reside at, deployed again to undisclosed location, came back, and then about to deploy again to undisclosed location. So you see, in a matter of 15 years, the movement's been crisp.
Well traveled.
Well traveled, and the experience, I would not change it for anything. A lot of people say, like, you got to be dog tired.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, I'm not. There's points in time, there's highs and lows. The fire goes out. Somebody needs to stoke it. And you two individuals have done that for me at this point in time. But my whole thing all goes back to those first 18 years. Those first 18 years, I got an opportunity to see so much and experience so many things that laid the blueprint.
Yeah.
And it was my opportunity to look back at it and say, I can't make those same mistakes again, whether or not if I was scared, I was too overconfident, I was cocky, whatever the case may be. Because me, for the difference between cocky and confident is humility. So as y'all working and being around me, I'm always willing to show it.
Always willing to show it. Okay, so what's your newest personal, excuse me, your newest personal, passionate project?
Okay.
Or project that you're passionate about, rather.
So what we're focusing on right now, and I say we because it's going to take a collective. Honestly, is owning something. So my biggest thing is right now owning land. And I was given this insight very early and I didn't pay attention to it, and now I'm paying for it now. Okay. So everybody always talk about reparations and they always say, where's my 40 acres and a mule? But they don't understand where that originated from. So when Sherman marched in on Savannah, the Union Army essentially marched in on the Confederate Army in Savannah, it came out because he said, I'm burning everything from Atlanta to Savannah, period. And he did it. Everything he come in contact with, they ran through. When he got to Savannah, though, they was holding up the white flags and saying, we don't want no more. So he actually sat down with a few of those enslaved individuals and said, what is freedom to you? And freedom was land. And what was drafted up as the first documented concept of reparations was 40 acres and a mule and a bit of money to buy seed. That was downgraded down once Lincoln got assassinated. They took all that back. That's the reason why your Gullah Geechee culture and all out there is kind of done for. But we'll go on that.
Let's cut. Don't worry, I'll edit it out. Let me bring the light out. We already in low light.
Who? Bro!
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change.
No, just jump back down. I'm about to wrap this up real quick. Less than 2 minutes.
I was about to ask you, I was going to say, I'm going to grab some fire, but can you give some insight into real quick, who was Sherman?
That's,
you good?
I went,
smoke that shit hitting you.
I'm good.
All right,
I'm going to grab some wood.
So, hey, that boy Mel got to keep us warm. But yeah, man, it's procuring land. It's procuring land. That is the objective, because what you can do on it, it has no ends. And well, China kind of proving me wrong with this statement, but you can't make more. Apparently they are, but I guess we'll figure out. But that's it, man. And I want to bring y'all on the journey.